I don't know who you are now. That broke my heart. I can't even tell you the effect it had on me. That I realized there was
The Partridge Family's heartthrob Keith Partridge, the man who made with his flawless smile and popular songs like I Think I Love You. Millions of people shout, faint, and dream, but behind the celebrity are the packed stadiums and the devoted admirers. The life of David Cassidy was a wild one filled with addiction. Financial collapse. You can't have a movie without credits, so I included family feuds and heartbreaking scandals. He went from making millions of dollars in the 1970s to declaring bankruptcy, from being the biggest teen idol in the world to being arrested for drunk driving, and from being a loving father to publicly disowning his own daughter. David's tale is more outrageous than any Hollywood screenplay. Why did his daughter, Aristar Katie Cassidy, claim she never really knew him? How did his mental health issues cause his family to fall apart? This is the little-known fact about David Cassidy, who had everything, threw it all away, and passed away with profound regrets. You won't believe what occurred, so stay tuned and watch this film because it contains everything: fame, money, treachery, addiction, and a legacy. Get ready, everyone. 1-2. David Bruce Cassidy was born in New York City on April 12, 1950. His parents, actor Jack Cassidy and actress Evelyn Ward, divorced when he was only 5 years old, and he was raised primarily by his mother while his father pursued his acting career. Later, his father married Shirley Jones, who would play his on-screen mother in the Partridge Family. Because of his family's frequent moves, he struggled in school and was once expelled for misbehavior, but he had a passion for music and acting from an early age. After high school, he briefly studied acting but dropped out to pursue a career in entertainment. David's big break came in 1970 when he was cast as Keith Partridge in the musical sitcom about a family band. One of the most iconic television programs of the 1970s, The Partridge Family combined family-friendly storytelling with comedy and music to create a cultural phenomenon. I don't even know Harry Murphy, but I thought I had a crush on Barry Murphy, but he moved away a year ago. The show, which ran on ABC from 1970 to 1974, followed the adventures of the Partridges, a family band that traveled in a brightly painted school bus while attempting to break into the music industry. The show's concept was loosely inspired by the real-life family band The Cows, who had hits like The Rain, The Park, and other things. However, the producers fictionalized the plot, adding humor and teenage heartthrob appeal with Keith Partridge, played by David Cassidy. David swiftly rose to fame as a teenager after the show became a huge hit. His attractiveness and singing ability helped him have a successful music career outside of the show. At the height of his popularity, he sold out stadiums all over the world, with fans yelling and fainting at his performances. David was one of the most photographed and adored celebrities in the world, but the pressure of stardom took a toll on him. He grew tired of being seen only as a teen idol and wanted to be taken seriously as an actor and musician. By the mid-1970s, the Partridge Family ended and David's popularity began to fade. He tried to reinvent himself with more mature roles on Broadway and in TV movies, but it was difficult to escape his teen idol image. He struggled with TYP casting and took on various projects including stage performances and occasional TV appearances. At the peak of his fame in the 1970s, David was earning millions. He sold out stadiums, had hit records, and was one of the highest paid TV stars of his time. But like many young celebrities who experienced sudden wealth, he didn't manage his money wisely. He spent lavishly on cars, homes, and an extravagant lifestyle, assuming the money would never run out. By the 1980s, his career had slowed down, but his spending habits didn't. He invested in risky real estate deals and business ventures that failed. One major mistake was pouring money into a horse breeding farm, which drained his finances without providing returns. He also had to deal with expensive legal fights, such as claims of unpaid fees from previous managers and financial advisors. His battle to collect the royalties he was due from the Partridge Family, in spite of the show's enormous success, dealt him yet another severe blow. In the 1990s, David attempted to sue Sony Music, the company that owned the rights to the Partridge Family music, over unpaid royalties, but the case dragged on and consumed more of his money and legal fees. Without a consistent income from his previous work, he relied on touring and small acting gigs, which weren't enough to cover his debts, like many celebrities. David claimed he was paid very little in residuals and ongoing payments for reruns and music sales. He later acknowledged that his lack of experience in the entertainment industry had led him to sign contracts that didn't benefit him financially. David also has significant tax issues. According to reports, he owed the IRS hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid taxes, which made his financial situation unsustainable by 1995. He was then forced to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, listing debts of almost $1 million. After filing for bankruptcy, David had to start over, and he took advantage of the enduring love for his music from the 1970s by performing on nostalgia tours and attending fan conventions. While this wasn't the ultra-wealthy lifestyle of his youth, it helped him stay afloat. He also wrote a memoir called Could It Be Forever, in which he discussed his financial mistakes and regrets in subsequent interviews. "I was young and I thought the success would last forever. I didn't plan for the future," David added, acknowledging that he had been foolish about money and had put his trust in the wrong people. Despite his financial difficulties, his biography serves as a warning on the value of financial preparedness, particularly for celebrities who enjoy quick fame and fortune. David never lost his love for performing, and even in his later years, he kept touring, demonstrating that even though his fortune fluctuated, his relationship with his fans lasted until the very end. His personal life was equally as turbulent as his career. In 1977, he married actress Kay Lenz, but their marriage lasted only 2 years. In 1984, he married horse trainer Mariel Tanz, and the two of them had a son, Bo Cassidy, in 1991, but the two parted ways in 1996. In 1991, he wed singer Sue Schifrin for the third time, and the two of them had a daughter, Katie Cassidy. In 1986, Katie followed in her father's footsteps, becoming a successful actress known for roles in Arrow and Supernatural. David and Sue divorced in 2016 after years of separation. David had a complicated relationship with his half-brothers Sean Patrick and Ryan Cassidy, all of whom were also in the entertainment industry. Though there were tensions at times, they remained connected through their shared love of music and acting. David Cassidy's relationship with his daughter, actress Katie Cassidy, was one of the most emotionally complex parts of his life. Though they shared a deep love, their bond was strained by distance, personal struggles, and public disputes, especially in David's later years. Katie Cassidy was born on November 25, 1986, to David and his then-girlfriend model Cher Williams. However, David was not present for much of Katie's childhood. He had married Sue Chiron, his third wife, just months before Katie's birth, and though he financially supported her, he was largely absent from her early life. Katie was raised primarily by her mother and her stepfather Richard Benedin, whom she considered her real father. In interviews, she admitted she didn't have a close relationship with David growing up, saying, "I didn't really know him, he wasn't around." David publicly took pride in Katie's success as she grew older and followed in her father's footsteps by pursuing acting. She starred in TV shows like Supernatural, Gossip Girl, and Arrow, and their relationship remained complicated. In 2014, David made headlines when he said in an interview that he had never met Katie's then-fiancé, saying, I don't know her, I've never met her fiancé. Social media user Katie was offended by the remark and wrote, "Wow." Fans of Speechless hypothesized that David's unpredictable remarks might have been caused by his battles with alcoholism and cognitive impairment. When David, who was suffering from dementia, said in an interview that he had given up booze for Katie but that she had cut him off, the tension between them increased. He sobbed as he stated, "I've never had a relationship with her, and that's been the biggest heartbreak of my life. I've always had a heart full of love and forgiveness where my father is concerned, but he's made it clear that we're not close. That's his choice, not mine," declared Katie on Twitter, after she had refrained from discussing their problems. Although they had an arrangement, Katie reportedly sought out to David in his last months as his health declined. She did not pay him a visit prior to his death in November 2017. But family sources claimed that she had discreetly reconciled their strained relationship following his death. In a modest nod to him, Katie shared a black and white picture of the two of them on Instagram along with the message, "Words can't express the solace I find in knowing you are at peace." In subsequent interviews, she also received his trademark tattoo on her wrist as a lasting homage to the father she adored but never truly met. In her mature remarks regarding their relationship, Katie acknowledged his battles with fame and addiction, stating, "He had his demons, but he was still my dad. I wish things had been different, but I've made peace with it," she said, expressing regret that they were never able to truly reconcile. In addition to fame and admiration, David Cassidy's time in the spotlight was characterized by a number of scandals and controversies that damaged his reputation and revealed his inner challenges, which ranged from unpredictable conduct to legal issues. His later years became a cautionary tale about the dark side of celebrity. One of the most well-known scandals in David's life was his repeated arrests for driving under the influence. His battle with alcoholism spilled over into his personal behavior, leading to dangerous and humiliating run-ins with the law. The most notable incident happened in 2010, when he was pulled over in Schrader County, Florida, after police noticed his car swerving. According to reports, he failed a field sobriety test, slurred his words, and struggled to maintain his balance. A breathalyzer test revealed that his blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. This wasn't his first DUI. He had been arrested several times before, but this incident had serious repercussions. The mugshot of the once-adored teen idol, now unkempt and older than his years, went viral in the media, signifying his sharp decline from grace as his addiction worsened and raising doubts about David's dependability as a performer. He was sentenced to jail time, ordered to attend alcohol education classes, and put on probation. Some fans felt deceived, especially those who had grown up idolizing him, and many took to social media to vent their frustration, accusing him of disrespecting his audience. In 2012, during a performance in California, he collapsed on stage and was taken to the hospital after revealing he had been suffering from severe dehydration and liver issues, clear signs of his body breaking down from years of alcohol abuse. Others, however, sympathized with him, acknowledging that his difficulties were a call for assistance rather than a sign of his lack of professionalism in his last years. Interviews that should have been sentimental looks back at his career instead became uncomfortable spectacles due to David's increasingly erratic behavior. In 2014, he made shocking claims about his daughter Katie Cassidy during a radio appearance, claiming that he had never met her fiancé and that they were not dating. The remarks shocked Katie, who later in 2017, during a shockingly candid appearance with Dr. Phil, replied on Twitter with a straightforward but heartbreaking, "Wow!" dumbfounded. David, who was obviously suffering from dementia, sobbed as he acknowledged that drinking had destroyed his life and that he was dying. watching David's occasionally bewildered and tearful digressions regarding regrets and missed opportunities made the interview challenging. While some viewers thought it was unethical to broadcast such a delicate time, others regarded it as a sobering reminder of the dangers of addiction. As David's behavior became more erratic, his half-brother Sean Cassidy, a well-known singer and producer, reportedly distanced himself from him. Meanwhile, David's public arguments with his daughter Katie added even more sadness to his later years. David's tense relationships with his family members were frequently documented in the media. Although David Cassidy will always be known as a pop culture icon, these scandals clouded his final years. His sobbing admission that he had never had a relationship with her made headlines, exposing the profound psychological toll of his addiction and mental degeneration. This narrative serves as a sad reminder of how self-destruction can result from popularity paired with personal difficulties. He admitted this himself in one of his last interviews, stating, "I was given everything and I threw it all away." David Cassidy died of liver and renal failure on November 21, 2017. At the age of 67. His family stood by his side in the final minutes before he passed away. He apologized for his battles with addiction but was still proud of his music and the happiness he offered to his followers. His music and TV shows are still adored by fans today. His daughter Katie carries on his Hollywood legacy, while his son Beau has maintained a low profile and had a quiet life.